Hello, it's George from Australia, and welcome to Gaming My Whole Life, where I discuss everything video game related, past, present, and future. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking Streets of Rage 4 today. Now, I am a huge fan. I have been playing Streets of Rage 4 since the original, all the way back on the SEGA MEGADRIVE. I enjoyed every single one of them. Streets of Rage 1, 2, 3. I easily consider myself a fan, and it was definitely on my radar when Streets of Rage 4 was announced. Not to mention a little bit nervous, just a series so close to my heart. I wanted it to be the best it could be, and obviously I'm not going to, hide the fact I think it's amazing because I included the 10 out of 10 rating in the thumbnail. I wanted fans and people interested in the series to be the ones clicking on this, to know that, hey, I love it, but to give me the opportunity to let you know just how amazing it is and why, if you don't already have the game yourself, if you're a fan of 2D fighters, if you're an old fan of Streets of Rage 4 and you're like, right, does the new game do it justice? Yes, yes, and yes, and I'm going to show you it all. Now, here at Gaming My Whole Life, I have a belief. And I honestly believe that if you look after fans, you will always be rewarded. It's why it angers me, it's why it frustrates me, it's why it disappoints me when some publishers, insist on not doing what the fans want. Like, fans are very vocal, and frankly, as far as I'm concerned, I think it's very easy to appeal and appease fans if you know what they're like in the first place, and hopefully you understand your game enough to do that. Now, Streets of Rage, it had very specific things that made it enjoyable. It was simple to pick up and play. You go ahead, you mash the punch button. When you're not hitting anything, it just does a simple animation like this. Nothing happens. The moment your fist, your legs, your head, your anger connects with another opponent, then a combo comes out. You can get really creative about it. You're continuously discovering little moves that you hadn't realized was there to begin with, and you just charge on. Now, the developers behind Streets of Rage 4, they did the number one thing that I absolutely love, and I enjoy rewarding any publisher and any developer who does it. And that is, they simply did the most basic common sense thing when it came to a numbered sequel. See, this isn't a remake, this isn't a remaster. They haven't grabbed the old game and just changed the graphics. No, this is a numbered entry, the official Streets of Rage 4. So, what do fans, such as myself, in any gaming series that can be applied anywhere, is, hey, give us a bigger game. Give us a better looking game. Add more features. Keep the sound score. Keep what worked. Don't change it for the sake of changing it. There's a reason why I'm dragging this point out, right? We've seen a lot of remakes, we've seen a lot of remasters, we've seen a lot of revivals of old game franchises, and don't get me wrong, I am super happy, and if it was up to me, there'll be at least another 20 games from the SEGA MEGADRIVE, from the Super Nintendo, and especially the PlayStation 1 that I want remade. However, I have noticed a bit of a trend that is very unfortunate, and that is the developers who say, right, we're going to remake this franchise, also in the exact same breath say, yeah, but the old way was boring. What? No. That is not how this works. Streets of Rage 4, when you play it, it is obvious that the people who made this loved the old games. They loved it. They understood it, right? It was the power fantasy. It was the simplicity. It is basically, it's like a work of Nintendo, where Nintendo famously has very simple looking games with very easy to understand concepts. However, just because it's simple to get into doesn't mean it's simple to master. And Streets of Rage 4 just nails that down. You are playing, you are running around like a just absolute gangster in like the 80s or the 90s, right? You're walking around, you are kicking ass. Doesn't matter if you're a man, doesn't matter if you're a woman, doesn't matter what you're against. It can be another thug, it can be another cop, it can be another chick, it can be another... You can beat it up, right? You don't need to think about it. You can play by yourself, you can play with other friends, you just get to it. You don't need a tutorial. Go in there, mash the button until something happens. Okay, there's so much to cover here, and I could easily rant, and I don't want my video to be that sort of thing. I want to be a little bit more focused. So what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is we are going to focus on everything by category. We are going to dissect the visuals, the graphics, then we're going to look at the sounds, and we're going to look at the gameplay, then we're going to look at what they add on top of it and why you have to go out and buy this game already. Now, like always, I put a lot of work and effort into my videos. They take a very long time by the time I think of the concept, make it, and bring it to you. So if you enjoy your time here, please like, comment, definitely subscribe, help my Australian growing channel as I climb the ladder to that famous 1K mark, just so I can be monetized and simply be on the same page as everyone else. Sure, I might make $2 from each video, but you know what? I could buy a small coffee with that $2. Let me get it. Okay, let's start firstly with the graphics. This is just, even if you weren't a fan of the original Streets of Rage games, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It looks like handcrafted frame by frame 2D animation. It probably is. I haven't bothered looking into the development into this game. I really need to do that. I always like that sort of thing, but it looks absolutely amazing. Every single frame is perfection. It looks gorgeous. And not only that, but if you want to play in more of a retro feel, you can go into the graphic settings and you can add a pixelizer over the screen, so then it looks old school, right? Personally, I decided to play with the modern graphics because they did such a good job. But you know, regardless of if you're on the streets, if you're in the sewers, if you're fighting on top of a train, if you're everything is art. There's always animations running in the background. It makes the areas that you're fighting feel lively. The contact speed, the speed of which you smack your opponents, is wonderful. It's satisfying. Whenever you do your hard hits, the game actually freezes a frame to give that impact. So I always felt like an absolute boss playing this game. Speaking of visuals, I really love that fact that they kept to the original character designs and they didn't change them. I hated when things are changed for no reason. I'm not against change. I'm against change if it's done for political reasons or for reasons that aren't to the benefit of the game. As far as I'm concerned, I'm a Puritan. I just want the game to be the best it can be, however that can be. If changing the look of something makes the game itself better, then hey, go for it, right? Go for it. Don't hold on to the old. Do it if it makes things better. However, if your reasons for changing it aren't so good, then I'm against that. Now, I love that the guys look buff. They look buff, they look ripped, they look like they are in top peak physical shape, as you should be. You're a brawler, you're a man, you're running around. Of course you're gonna have guns and you're going to mess everything up. And what I love as well is the women remain as powerful and as sexy as they were before. Now, that's an important point to me personally, because not to get political on anyone, like anyone who has watched my channels know I make a point to, avoid that bunch of rubbish and this and that, right? I just want games to be games, but I don't like women being shamed for being sexy, and this game celebrates it. I absolutely love it. The women look exactly as they did before. Does it change the game? Does it add anything to it? No, but it's respectful. Now, the developers managed to keep all the old, so straight away you know what to do. You move up and down on a 2D plane, you hit your combos. If you walk into your opponent and they haven't punched you along the way, you will automatically clinch onto your opponent. You can choose to smack them on the spot, you can choose to throw them behind you, you can flip over them and then smash them even some more, right? That's awesome. You can jump, you can kick, and like the old style, if you do land a hit, you will send them flying. Now this is where it gets really good, and what has created, honestly, the addiction that I'm experiencing with this game. Every night I'm like, I'm going to play 10 minutes of this game, and always an hour later, that's when I stop. It's that addictive, right? But what I love is, yes, it has the old combos and this and that, but it's made it so modern and added more to it. So you have super moves, you sacrifice some of your health in order to pull off a special, then you have a super special. What I really like though, is if you're, if you're the chick or whatever, and you elbow someone and they go flying and they hit the side of the screen. So they go, right? They hit the side of the screen, then they bounce off that wall. They bounce off that wall and they come at you, and then you can continue to keep hitting them. That has let me do some insane combos where I've beaten someone up, right? Their life is gone. I've hit them up in the air, and even though their life is gone, I'm continuing to hit them. Then I do my super, then they fly in the air again, then I smack them again. Like, there are so many hidden enjoyable combos this way. That way it stops the game from being repetitive. See, the one thing which Not a complaint, a product of its time, but with the old Streets of Rage, sometimes you would get a little bit repetitive, just a little bit boring. If you went around and you did the same combos over and over again, and there was no way to really add any variety to it. Yes, you'd break it up, with the moves that were available, with the grabs, with the clinches, with grabbing items, and so forth. But, if your combo was punch, punch, kick, and then they fell, that was it. That was it. They would fall down to the ground, you'd have to wait for them to get back up, and then you repeat the combo. But in Streets of Rage 4, if you combine one thing with another, you will send that body flying. That body will hit other bodies, and then the side of the screen, then back to you, and then you will hit them up again, and then you can grab something, and you can do so many things. It's actually quite hard to explain, but needless to say, you feel like a badass. You were ripping out combos which weren't possible in the old Streets of Rage, and you just appreciate it so much. The music soundtrack is absolutely fantastic. I found myself pumped so much where I'm going around, and it's honestly as if you're a real Street Fighter. You're going down the street, you're dressed up in your peak physical, if you always wanted to be a woman in great shape, you always wanted to be a man in great shape, walk down the streets, have the confidence to take on anyone, and it's as if someone's walking around with a portable old school sound player behind you and just playing the coolest tunes for you while you beat people up and even try to do it to the beat. It sounds fantastic. The sound effects sound fantastic as well. So while the music is playing, each area has different music and it's wonderful. Can't stress that enough. As you're punching everyone, as you're slamming bodies to the ground and the whole screen shakes and then the carcass freaking bounces off the ground, right? Each sound has that great impact. It's just done really well. This game is so respectful to fans that you even get to choose the icons that are in the game. So, you have small health pickups where while you're fighting, you break barrels, you break people, you break objects, chairs, tables, whatever. You will find like a little piece of something that will give you back a little bit of health, and then you'll find a bigger piece of something which will give you a larger piece of health, actually give you full health back. What the game lets you do through the options menu is it lets you choose what that graphic is. So you can have it something modern, like, I pick up a little bit of sushi, for my health back or whatever. I pick up a drink. I chose a small slice of pizza because, I'm a old school Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan. So that gives me a little bit of health. And the ultimate, most retro, and tell me in the comment section below if you agree with me or not, but I think the most retro item to heal your health in any video game has to be a floating cooked piece of chicken out of nowhere. It made no sense back then. It still makes no sense, and I freaking love it. So while I'm playing Streets of Rage, I will kick over a trash can and then a clean cooked chicken will just sit there, and there's even freaking smoke coming off the fresh chicken that's just waiting for me to pick it up. Of course, it doesn't make sense in the real world. Who in the middle of a fight grabs a piece of food off the ground, bites it, and like all their wounds heal? But I love it. As I played though, after I beat every single section, I would get experience points, and it was loading up towards something. Oh, what's going on? And then I kept unlocking additional characters. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, a game you can play that came out in 2020 and is obviously still available in 2021 has you unlock extra characters without it costing you money. I'm sorry, think about it. You can unlock extra characters, no DLC, no microtransactions, no, you start off with 3 characters, but if you want to buy another one, give us more money, give us more money, give us more money. They're available day one. I hate that with a passion. It's not here. It's not here. Play the game that's already brilliant. You unlock characters. You keep unlocking every single character, just like the original Streets of Rage games. Feel different. They have different combos. They have different weaknesses. They have different disadvantages. They have different specials or handcrafted animations. You unlock more and more as you play. The game keeps rewarding you. Streets of Rage 4 needs to become a template. Other developers, other publishers need to look at them, and the next time anyone in any genre for any game series, I kid you not, if they want to do a numbered sequel, whether it's a numbered sequel to a modern game, whether it's a numbered sequel to a game that came out freaking 30 years ago, this is the way you do it. This is the way you do it. They kept everything that worked with the original, right? They kept everything, the way you walk around, the way you beat everyone up, pick up items, smack them with it, it's all there. So they kept that, they kept the look of it, they didn't downgrade, they didn't censor anything. They did good by the fans, and then they added more to it, they made it better. Then they respected us further by letting us unlock a whole bunch of characters free of charge. That is the way you do it, the sound, the music, everything. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not against additional purchases if it's earned. I'm very well aware that at the moment a DLC, it's either coming or is already out for Streets of Rage 4, and guess what, if you like the game, go buy the DLC. Yes, that's extra money, yes, I'm not against it if they did the extra work. They gave us a great game to begin with, they didn't skimp on the details. If they do extra work after the fact, after they've done good by the fans, hell yeah, give them their money. This isn't to say additional purchases is bad, it's bad if day one you buy a game that's buggy, should have been worked on more, and they have the audacity to also ask for extra money. No, bad publisher, bad. So if you've been on the fence with this game, if you're like, right, I played the old, I don't know if they did the old games justice, if it even holds up in today's modern gaming age, like maybe it was fun back then and maybe I'll play it today and it's not so good. Well, you don't need to worry about that. I guarantee you will love it. You honestly will, because they kept the old, but then they added things. As I said, insane combos, bodies flying everywhere. It's so much freaking fun. As I always say here at Gaming My Whole Life, if I get a whiff, if I get the impression that you're looking after the fan, I send my subscribers to go buy the product. Trust me, one of my most successful videos was talking about The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners on the PSVR, because I felt so rewarded for my purchases that they did so many things good. Immediately I went ahead and made a video on it, and my comment feed was just filled with people saying, hey, you made this game look so much fun. I went ahead and bought it. It is so much fun. Thank you. Once again, I want to do that for Streets of Rage 4. I know this game isn't new. I know it's not new, but you know what? I'm sure there's a lot of people who still haven't bought it, and after finally experiencing it, I've been playing it for the past week. I've been playing it every single night for the past week, right? I could have done this video sooner. Guess what? I was enjoying the freaking game too much. Go out, buy it, you will not regret it. If you're a fan of 2D brawlers, if you're not a fan of the genre, I'm not going to change your mind. This game isn't going to change your mind. But if you are a fan and you've been waiting, and especially if you're a fan of Streets of Rage, go buy it, comment below, say thank you, let me know. Now, there's no such thing as too much detail. So if you want to nerd out with me below, tell me what it is you love. Get into insane, stupid details like when you punch the dude and you zoom in and you see their face and it looks amazing. You want to talk about that? So be it. This is the place to get hyped. My only regret is not getting this game sooner. I kid you not. That is my only regret in this whole thing. Now look, I'm not going to pretend that this game is perfect, that it will never ever get boring. Every single game gets boring eventually. However, if you manage expectations of what you expect from a product, this game smashed it. It followed up on an old franchise with more of everything. It grabbed what worked, it kept it, it made it better, it added bells and whistles, it expanded, it did everything right. Again, a template for future publishers to come. Now before you go, please don't forget to subscribe and go through my backlog as I cover every single type of video you can think of. Honestly, I talk about new stuff, I talk about old stuff, I do deep dives, whatever you can think of. Until next time, you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening, depending where you lovely ladies live on this big blue planet of ours. God bless, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all next time. Happy bashing. Go play the game. Bye bye.